Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Pearls Politics with me and my son Tim Harrington. And let me just reiterate, my son Tim Harrington is not the Tim Harrington that is currently on trial in Mississippi. No relation, no connection. We don't know him, all right? We are the only mom and son political commentaries team I know in Memphis, possibly national, maybe even international. So let me bring him in now so y'all can see that it is not the other guy, all right? Hey, Tia, what's going on?
Hey, Mom, how's everybody doing?
All right, all right. Let's dive right on in here. I'll tell you, I want to start out with some local news. This morning, I heard on the news locally that the Justice Department, DOJ, has filed a claim against the city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department that the city police department has a record
Yes,
uh, uh, of discriminating against black people and
yes,
disabled people. The
yes.
U.S. Department of Justice has found.
Hmm.
I'm going to share this screen. This is coming from usnews.com. So let me see if it will show on the screen so I can share this so they would know that this is not anything that I'm making up. Now, we have a um, cold weather here in Memphis, Tennessee. It's going to be going down to 19 degrees tonight.
Yes.
And so our internet systems are kind of slow. Hi, Sandra. Thanks for tuning in. I left you a message this morning. Thanks for checking on me. Yeah,
Hey,
I
Sandra.
had been under the weather for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually, really. And it turned out, Sandra, that I had walking pneumonia. And I had been fighting it really longer than that, really about 2 or 3 months, because the first two diagnoses that they gave me was that I had bronchitis, and they gave me antibiotics that didn't work. And that's the reason why I never did get better. So I am better now. So they finally gave me one of those antibiotics that really brought up that old stuff. I had stuff backed up for probably 4 or 5 months that that they didn't cure the first time or the second time, and it was just causing me all kinds of breathing problems. They wanted me to go to the emergency room, but she trusted me to come on home and heal. And thank goodness I did.
Yes.
Thank you, Sandra. Yes, thank you so much. I am too. So anyway, the Memphis police discriminate against black people. The U.S. Justice Department has found, and this is dated December the 4th, 2024, which was yesterday. And as you can see, there's the police department parked out there. And it says here, this report is by Brad Brooks from Reuters. The Memphis Police Department uses excessive force and discriminates against black people, the U.S. Justice Department said on Wednesday, following an investigation calling on Tennessee City Police to undertake significant reforms. hmm Something that we've been doing all the time. The federal investigation began, of course, in July 23 in the wake of the beating death of black motorist Tyree Nichols at the hands of Memphis officers. But they have found further, they went back and found that for the past several years, the police conducted unlawful stops, searches, and arrests, discriminate in responses to people with behavioral health disabilities, and in its treatment of children who have experienced aggressive and frightening encounters with officers, the report said. Well, a spokesperson for the Memphis Police Department directed inquiries for comment to City Hall. They didn't want to talk about it. And the Memphis city attorney, Tanera Gibson, whoever that is, wrote a letter to the Justice Department on Wednesday that the city officials were not yet ready to negotiate reforms with the department, saying they needed time to review the report's findings. Well, you know what? They don't need any more time to they already know what was going on. And if you can review the report while you make the reforms, right? You don't
Right.
have to review. You don't need any more time to review the report. You just start making the suggested reforms while you are reviewing the report.
Right.
And their excuse for the city attorney says that the investigation only took 17 months to complete, compared to an average of 2 to 3 years in almost every other instance, implying that the Department of Justice has come to a rush judgment. So, anyway, this started billions of dollars by the family of Tyree Nichols, and some other lawsuits have come against the city after his lawsuit. But the Department of Justice says this: the people of Memphis deserve a police department and a city that protects their civil and constitutional rights, garners trust, and keeps safe, said Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division.
Hmm.
So that means that for some years that the police department here in our local city has violated civil and constitutional rights. All right.
Okay.
So let me stop sharing that. And I'm going to say this because uh, what I don't understand is this. What I want to know is why do we still have an interim police chief? How long has the Chief Davis been in as an interim police chief? Let me tell you something. Departments of Education and Departments of Law Enforcement do not need interim positions of chiefs of anything. They need to put someone permanently in these positions. And then we just got a new mayor a year or so ago, and he let her stay in as interim. That just goes to show you there's something wrong right there. You
Right.
don't keep an interim police chief in a position for 2 years. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
think
so
that. Hmm. I
go
think
ahead,
that
Ted.
the contract that she was under, it read that she would get paid whether she stayed or didn't stay. So
Well, it
they
don't
were.
make any difference. They'd have to pay all of them when they fire them, or when they leave anyway. If they
Yeah.
ask, but when you interim, you're not in the position that's permanent anyway.
Right.
That's what interim means.
Right.
So she was never elected to that position. She was just
No.
appointed
Yeah. She was appointed.
as interim. And what they need to do is appoint someone permanent. Because if you go back to 17 months, it's this city attorney is defending the police department. The attorney that's defending the police department and the city says that the report only goes back 17 months. Well, that's a long time. That's too long to have had an interim police chief.
Yeah.
And it
She was.
appears that all of these things happen under the under the watch of the interim police chief.
Yeah. I think.
Apparently,
I think what's one of the major problems that we're having is they keep recruiting outside of Memphis. She was appointed from Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, and she has a kind of shady record. If you look at it for as a track record from there, I don't know why they appointed her when they did here. There's plenty of people that was on the force that have the time that is required that could be a permanent position. So yeah, I would have to.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I don't know why this city I always think that somebody outside the city is always better than its own citizens.
yeah,
That doesn't make any sense to me. And then she got appointed as interim director up under Jim Strickland when he was mayor.
She did.
Okay, so he was a Caucasian mayor. So
Mm-hmm.
then you get an African American mayor, newly elected, comes in, and he does the same stupid thing. You keep an interim police chief. That should have been the first thing you changed,
Yeah.
and appointed someone that was local, that's been serving on the police department right here in this city, that
Right.
knows the city and knows the city's citizens over somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
I agree
Definitely.
with the DOJ. Something is
She,
wrong.
if you look at it technically, she has caused the city way more money. What we have
Yeah,
to look
that it
at
was to
is,
pay her to leave.
yeah,
That it was to
because
pay her to leave.
the Scorpion squad that beat up that unalived Tyrese Nichols was a point. She put that team together. This was
Mhm.
a team that, by her design and her specs, that was put
Mhm.
together. And look
Mhm.
how much that cost. It's
Mhm.
unfortunate that the young man had to be unalive, but it's just not smart thinking and it's not safe thinking.
Well, she doesn't even know the city of the citizens when she came here.
Yeah,
That's just dumb. You don't bring somebody outside your city to run your police department. That was
yeah,
a dumb move in the first place, you
yeah,
know. And then they don't ask us, the people. They don't ask us about stuff. They just appoint folks. You know, they might as well have appointed the three students, Curly, Larry, and Mo. We
yeah.
didn't have no say at all. It doesn't make any sense. All right. So much for that. The other local thing I wanted to cover is virtual teachers. I told people 20 years ago that education was going to be taught online. They laughed and they said, "You crazy, EP? You crazy? You don't know what you're talking about." Okay. So now they see, and I'll just bet you those coworkers that I told that when I was working with them, I bet it has come to think I bet it's crossed their mind. You know that EP said that education was going to be taken out of schools and taught online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The pandemic
We
was the
have
second
in
one.
this, that was the first of it that made it really big, but we have over 300 position teaching positions open on the the City of Memphis Education System, MCHS. 300 available open teaching positions. They can't have nobody to teach. Can't find nobody. Don't nobody want to teach these bad, but kids because the parents don't raise them at home.
Yeah,
Don't nobody want to come in there and take that kind of abuse for the little money that they pay these teachers. And because these kids are so bad, it really ain't no salary that's equivalent to the harassment and all of the trouble and bad talking and cursing out and things that these teachers have to take from these students
hmm,
that they need to be taught at home. They need to be made to stay at home and be taught on the computer because people don't have to go through that. People just don't have to take that for your money.
right.
School systems and President Trump said he's going to do away with the Department of Education. That'll be the best thing he could have ever done good, ever happened to this country.
Yeah, scrap it.
Because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you something. I taught a few years back, well, a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, I taught online as a teacher to South Korea students. Yeah, and it's a classroom setting, and I was virtually here on the computer, and those students are so well behaved. They had like an assistant teacher, somebody in the room, but they are so attentive, so well behaved, so respectful, and I don't think they have a Department of Education. They don't call it that anyway. A lot of them homeschool. I also taught students that were adult students from the phone. I would call in. I would teach them. They would call. I would call them up at their scheduled time for their lesson, and they were teaching. They were learning at home. We had a lesson plan and everything that we go for 30 minutes. Each student had 30 minutes. These were also um, children as well as adults. and the adults were trying to learn English. So I taught English as a second language. All of these times that I was teaching online to South Korea. So I'm telling you, when Donald Trump does away with this Department of Education, it will make people take responsibility for their children's learning. What you got to say about that one, Tim?
Yeah, it's funny that you brought that up. I was able to check out a little documentary pertaining to exactly that. Their schooling system is totally different. They don't start doing actual schooling, I think, until the third grade. Prior to that, they are teaching of mannerisms. They don't have janitors
Hmm.
because they do all of the cleaning and janitorial, but their
That's right.
foundation is totally different. Uh,
That's right.
and I was shocked to find that out. But those first
That's right.
couple of years, they're taught totally different. It has nothing to do with the
Taught
educational system.
nothing to do with learning. They taught how to respect, how to
Hmm.
communicate, how to socialize, how to be
Yeah.
responsible, how to
Hmm.
clean, how to
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
people and the things of their life.
Hmm.
And that's what's missing in the Western countries.
Yeah.
They don't teach these kids. They don't teach these kids manners. And one thing you're not gonna find in a lot of well, probably not in South Korea anyway, is single parents.
Nah.
The Western country has too many single parents
Too
trying
many.
to raise these kids by themselves. But whose fault is that? It's the government's fault.
Yes.
Because when they created the welfare system back then, what they called it was the welfare system. I'm trying to close a window here. My computer's going
Designed to
super
take the
slow.
man out of the house.
Out of the house. We'll give you this, but you can't have a man in the house.
Not just take
Yeah,
them out, to keep them out.
keep him out. Keep him out. We'll give
Yeah.
you some food stamps, and we'll give you $100 and some a month to help you with your expenses. But you can't have no man. You got the child's father can't stay in. We'll give you subsidized housing,
Mm-hmm.
apartment,
Mm-hmm.
but the child's daddy can't stay there with you.
Correct.
That was the law. That is the law. So
Right.
the government took the father out the house and
Mm-hmm.
locked the father up in jail.
Right. So in
They don't
turn,
have that. They don't have that.
the
In South
outcome
Korea.
of that is Uncle Sam looks at it as I raised them, so they're mine. So
Uh huh.
when they're by the time they reach a certain teenage, they're so out of control, they
Yep.
end up going into the incarceration system.
Yep. Exactly where they want them
Exactly where they want them.
to end up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a conspiracy all the time, and then everybody want to know, well, why did everybody? How did that happen? Did everybody vote for Donald Trump again? He's a criminal. He's this. He's that. Donald Trump is the only president that this United States has had that had good sense,
Yeah.
and that was for the people.
Yeah.
you
And he's
know,
not a politician.
and he's not a politician.
Hmm.
That's why everybody voted for him again. For you people out there that still hasn't. Y'all want everybody woke. Democrats, you want everybody woke. WOKE. You don't even know what that stands for because you're not awake.
Right.
So thank God that the people of America woke up and want to take the country back for us.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
have y'all been doing for us for the past 3 decades? Nothing.
Yeah, because Democrats had it 12 years out of the 16.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
And
take a
they,
short break. Oh,
okay.
go ahead, get your last comment in on that.
No, I'm just going to,
Before we go to national news.
yeah, well, I'll just wait till we go there.
Okay, okay, all right. Let's take a little break, y'all. We take a short break. Let's see if we can get the computer working. It's so slow. We're not gonna be with y'all long about another 10 minutes, and y'all will have a short show to watch on the replay. You won't have to watch too long. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Uh, I don't know what's using up my internet. Probably some neighbor hacking into it. I wish they would fix that where people can't hack into your stuff no more. All right, so is anybody ready for some steaks? Let's hear some Omaha.
Mhm.
Not the mutual of Omaha. We got some Omaha steaks we gonna play for y'all. Been a minute. Hold on. Hold on, Tim. I'll be here in a minute. Computer just slow.